Hi everyone, this is Anna with the Poko Moonshine family. I just wanted to touch base with everybody about kind of where we've been at. We've been super busy, both of us got new jobs, which is great, it's for the better. I do think that we've just been kind of working on maintaining doing Carnivore. Nothing's really changed, both of us are pretty consistent, which is good. I just more so wanted to update after not posting for so long, and also just seeing everybody at the meetup in Montello, and it was really, really good. And you could feel the energy in the room. Everybody's positive and happy, and it's such a great group of people. I love this community, and I just want to say sorry that we've been absent for so long. And so yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about where we're at. I have been stalled for like an incredibly long time. And so I'm just trying to focus on what am I eating that's leading me to maybe be more stalled, although it could just be my body adjusting. Like maybe I'm getting more muscle, losing fat at the same time. I know that is something that happens to a lot of people. And JT said that he was in that boat too for a long time. So it happens throughout your journey, and it's good to talk about it and normalize it because it's a part of weight loss. And I'm just trying to focus on how are my clothes fitting, how am I feeling, and some things that I've changed are I cut out carnivore ice cream, and I've cut out pork rinds and sour cream. I think it might be those dairy items. Like I did have some cheese for a little period of time, and then I stopped that. But I'm just wondering if the other kinds of dairy that I was having was part of why I'm stalled. So it's always fun to try to figure out, what's the next step on your journey. And maybe I don't need to cut these things out forever, but I think it's for the better. I don't necessarily miss them. I don't really have too many cravings on carnivore. I just really want like burger patties or bacon or whatever. And so I've gotten through a lot of cravings in the past, and I feel like I'm in a good spot. It's just, I gotta let go of the fact that I'm not losing weight. I think there's some sort of thing in the back of my mind like, oh, I don't see the scale moving, so it's kind of frustrating for me. But you gotta take the pressure off of that and just enjoy where you're at, appreciate it. Like Dr. Kilt said at the meetup, you gotta start each day with a positive mindset. And I'm really trying to work on that, because there's times I come home after work and it's been a long, stressful day. I don't think I've really talked about what I do, but I work as a behavior analyst. So I provide ABA therapy to kids who are autistic. And so it's a big passion of mine. I went to school for a while for it. I've done a lot of training, and I've worked in that field for about 10 years. And so I do really love that job. I love helping the kids and making a difference. But at the end of the day, when I come home, like I'm just, I've worked so hard during the day. A lot of my job requires a lot of like brainstorming and thinking, and also just chasing the kids around and playing with them. And so when I got that new job, it was a whole new change kind of for me, but it's been going really well. It's just, again, a lot when I come home. So I'm just trying to change up what I'm doing throughout the day to kind of make it more positive. And I try to catch myself when I'm kind of getting into those negative modes. So, carnivore is not perfect, but it is something that is helping me a lot in just finding out about myself and being able to handle different things. Like I think before I wouldn't have been able to handle a lot of the situations without feeling like extremely nervous, or I think just my confidence is boosted. I'm doing a lot better at my job than I used to. And so, yeah, we're in a good spot. Again, I'm stalled, but I think that'll solve itself as I keep going. And I just feel like we have to support each other on this journey. You know, that's something I realized from the meetup. I'm like, man, like, I had a few people kind of take me aside and we just talked for a while, and I really appreciated that, but it just made me realize, man, I really haven't been doing videos or posting a lot, and I kind of feel bad because there's all these people supporting me and then I'm, you know, not present as much. So I'm gonna try to do some more videos, you know, and just kind of put myself out there a little bit more. You know, yesterday it was just so nice to feel like a part of a community. I think that's like, if you're starting out on carnivore, that's such a beautiful thing, is just that you'll find that this is like such a group of positive people. Like, most of the people that I've interacted with have been so positive and so kind and so supportive. And I haven't met a group of people like that. I've said that before, but I haven't met a group of people who are as kind and as supportive in the weight loss community, or even just, it's not even weight loss, it's a whole lifestyle. And I feel like I would be in a much worse spot without everybody. So I just wanted to say thank you for everybody who kind of touched base with me at the meetup. It gave me kind of a new sense of energy for YouTubing and coming back to this space. So I just really appreciate it. You know, I can talk a little bit about what I have been eating. So I have been eating more like burger patties lately. I'll sometimes have bacon in the morning, but it's not every day. I still kind of teeter between 1 to 2 meals a day. It really depends on my hunger level. I think before carnivore, I was always hungry, and at least I thought, but really, like, my hunger and fullness cues were not very sensitive at that time. I think because I've ignored them for so long, that when I came to carnivore and I actually let my body heal for a while, I've started to pick up on those things a lot more. And it gives your mind a sense of freedom, because before I was thinking so much about food and so much about, you know, what am I going to eat next? So I think that carnivore has healed me in a way of just like, I can read my body a little bit better. And one thing I did want to mention, because the meetup in a sense was really emotional, for many reasons. Dr. Kilt said, you know, basically we're all together, but we're also all alone. And it's true. You can be with a lot of people or around a lot of people, but still feel alone because you're going through something. I'm not going through something necessarily right now, but I just think of some of my family members, and I'm not going to go in depth into them because it's not my place, even though it's my family. Like, they have their own story to tell if they're wanting to. And it just got me thinking about several family members and several friends who are having health issues. And, you know, I've talked to them many times about it, and it's just hard to see them kind of suffer. Like, even though we know why that are suffering, you know, a lot of it's to do with the food that we eat. And I try to educate people on it. I try to talk to them about it, but, you know, they have to take that first step. They have to make those changes. But it's hard to sit here and watch people hurt themselves. And I know some of them may not even agree with what I'm saying right now, but I would feel horrible not saying anything to them. It just sucks right now because I feel like I'm going to lose some people in my life when it didn't necessarily have to be that way. That's why it's important to say I love you. Dr. Kiltz had said, you know, for people who kind of have these conditions that they're kind of going through things, or just in general, say I love you to people, to your friends, to your family. You know, just say it, because people probably don't always hear it enough. It's important. Sorry, just been weighing heavier on me lately, that people in my life are suffering because I was in that space. I wasn't in a great headspace. You know, I've talked about this before, but depression's so hard. And when you feel like you have nothing left to move forward in life, and you feel like this is going to be your life every day, you know, for me, it was being overweight and feeling like, A, people were judging me, and B, just not feeling like I was going to make it in life, and to feel like I was going to struggle in life because of my size. Our society is so ridiculous in their reaction to people who are suffering from obesity. And like Dr. Kilt said, it's, you know, fat is protective. It's a good thing. And not to let anybody basically judge you because you have, you know, you might be at a higher weight. And this diet heals, and I just encourage people to talk to their loved ones. You know, they may not listen, but all you can do is be an example for people and tell them that you love them before anything happens. And right, you know, you don't want that to happen to them, but a lot of people don't like to listen to this information. That's why the documentary Healing Humanity is so important, because there's gonna be people who see it and they change their lives. At first I thought JT was crazy. And I was like at my wit's end though before I tried it, and I didn't think necessarily it would work because of my years of dieting and just restricting what I was eating and everything. I was like, you know, it's just going to be another thing that I try, and it's not going to work. Because I was in high school when I really started focusing on my appearance and trying to change myself so that I was thinner. And, you know, that may sound selfish, but our society does place a lot of pressure on people to be thinner. And I think I listened to that as a kid, and then I just kind of carried it with myself. So there needs to be a lot of education on the food that we're eating and how it affects us, and just how beautiful this diet is. You know, it's so much more than just physical changes, but mental changes. Because I was telling JT, like, before I kind of felt like, man, why am I still here? You know? And you know, this reaction is just because I'm going back to that place. It's a hard place to think about. I really thought, wow, like what, you know, why am I still here? How am I still here? And I just want to help other people. I don't want them to feel the way that I felt. That's why this diet's so important, because, man, I'm such a happier person than I used to be. I have worked so hard. I've lost over 100 pounds, and I never thought I would have. I never thought I had it in me, but it wasn't until Carnivore that really changed. And I'm so grateful for my husband, because without him, I don't know if I would have found the diet or I've been willing to try it. So that's another great tip for people. Like, if you have someone in your life who's willing to do it together, support each other. You know, if it doesn't go perfectly, that's okay. You know, in my past diets, they often didn't go perfect, but Carnivore has been something that I've sticked with for longer than anything else. So I don't think I'll be going back. I think that I appreciate how I feel and the person I've become too much to go back. I might be in a spot where it's a little bit rocky, but you know, it's a lesson for myself. You know, you can choose to look at those things in life as negative things, but when you go through struggles, it's a learning lesson, right? So you can choose to either look at it in a negative way or look at, you know, my stall as a positive thing. Like, you know, maybe my body, like I said earlier, my body is just recompositioning itself. Maybe it's realizing like certain things that I was eating maybe aren't the best for me, like the pork rinds or the carnivore ice cream. you know, maybe I was eating them too much. And so then, you know, it's kind of a learning lesson there too. I think it's so important that on this journey you can see all the changes that you're making and just learn to appreciate those speed bumps in time that you have. And I'm just so happy for where I'm at now. I wouldn't have pictured my life being where I'm at, feeling the way I'm at. And so I just really wanted to put out a video to kind of update everybody where I've been and what we've been doing. But I do appreciate everybody's support. And, you know, I'm just a normal person. We're all the same. Like Dr. Kilt said, you know, we're all the same. And so, you know, I don't necessarily feel inspirational, and there's nothing special necessarily about my story. It's just, I want to share my story so maybe it encourages somebody else to start. You know, whether you're doing it for yourself just to feel better, you're doing it to lose weight, you're doing it for your kids, you're doing it for a family member. You know, you're important. So you got to realize that you're important, you're valued, because that was something in the back of my mind for such a long time, that I wasn't important in life. But you gotta realize who's in your life that cares about you, who wants to be with you for a very long time. And you gotta love yourself. You gotta find that within yourself to love yourself more than that you love the food that you're eating. Again, I'm sorry to cry. It's just an emotional thing to think about, because I've struggled for so long and in ways that I didn't even realize. Like, before, it felt like normal to not feel well all the time, like your stomach cramping, or that you had to go to the bathroom so many times. And then too, like, just I was so unhappy. Like, I can't necessarily portray that really well in this video, but I found so much happiness, so much clarity in Carnivore. Like, I'm out of that fog, and I really appreciate it. And this diet's helped me appreciate life way more. So if you're looking at trying it, or you're just at your lowest point, try it. There's no harm in trying it. And I've healed my body so much. My medication is, you know, it keeps lessening over time. I know it'll keep going, and then my goal is to just heal my thyroid. So that's example. Like, you can get off your medications. You don't have to be on them forever. You don't have to be on a CPAP machine forever. This diet does help with a lot of conditions. It helps improve them, get rid of them. You know, it's not a silver bullet. It's not perfect, but it does help. And I believe that it's going to help a lot of people. But I just really appreciate you guys all watching. Please like, subscribe, share this video, and feel free to comment below. And then also watch this next video. All right. Thanks, guys.